Here's a look at your market recap on this Tuesday, the 29th day of July. First, I'd like to apologize to everybody if you missed this morning's report. This week is the Northeast Missouri FFA District Expo, and I got up well before the crack of dawn this morning and headed out as my kids had some livestock to show. Technology works great most of the time, and we were able to get most of our reports out this morning. However, when it come to YouTube, that just didn't work out all that well. Like to give a shout out to all those kids that showed this week at the Nemo FFA District Fair. Fairly decent turnout this week with a lot of good kids that worked hard through the extreme heat. And of course, I'd like to give a big shout out to all the livestock judges this week. That's got to be about one of the worst jobs in the world. I don't think Jesus gives out brownie points or gold stars, but if he did, those judges sure should get one because, as everybody knows, they make about one friend and a whole lot of enemies, and the pay isn't that great. That's enough about the livestock shows, though. Let's get back to catch you up on the markets now. At the auction barns around the state today, of course, receipts still lied at a lot of barns as we're still waiting for this excessive heat spell to break. Cuba didn't have anything today. Unionville didn't have anything. Kingsville Livestock Auction, they sold 644 head. The steers and heifers there, $3 to $7 higher. At Ozarks Regional Stockyards in West Plains, 416 head. The yearlings, not well tested, but a sharply higher undertone was noted. The calves, they were called $10 to $15 higher. Now down in southern Missouri, boy, they've missed out on a lot of the rains in July, much unlike north of I-70 where we've just had flood after flood. It seems like big, heavy, excessive rains through the month of July. But down in the Ozarks where the soil's thin, they did have some comments that things are finally starting to look a touch like July and conditions are starting to dry up a touch there. Overall, though, as we mentioned earlier this week, pasture and range conditions here in the state of Missouri still extremely good and still some of the very best in the nation. At Lawley Brothers Livestock Market today, they had a light run as well, 675 head. Compared to 2 weeks ago there, the best test was 3 pot loads of 690 to 698 pound heifers off of the same consignment, weighing near the same weight as some that sold 2 weeks ago, and they sold $10 higher. The feeder steers they're making today, some 5 to 6 weights, a few of them, some of them unweaned, 435 to 439.50. 23 head of 632-pound steers brought 419.50. Had a full load of 945-pound steers at 317.75. Taking a look at those heifers, some 5.5 to 6 weights at 370.50 to 377. Some 6 to 650-pound heifers at 361 to 365.25. 80 head of 658-pound heifers tagged as fancy brought $372.50, and then those 3 full pot loads, 241 head, 689 to 698 pounds, all sold at $352.50. Box beef cutout values lower today. Choice $364.19, down $3.54. Select down $4.37 at $342.48. Those values based on 118 loads of cuts, trimmings, and grinds. The Choice Select spread at $21.71. Negotiated feedlot trade for the week still fairly slow. Just under 2,500 head so far. Texas still at 0 for the week. Iowa's had that 17 head so far. Kansas report 111 head. Now Nebraska did report about 850 head today, or for the week so far. 680 of those were confirmed sales from today. Live sales, 381 head, all at 240. Had 142 head of mixed steers and heifers dressed delivered at $385, and then 158 head of dressed FOB mixed steers and heifers at $383.50. Taking a look at the futures markets, on the Mercantile Exchange, live cattle, August up $1.85, $229.72. October up $1.67 at $226.45. December $226.75 up $1.40. Feeder cattle for August $336.20 up $267. September $337.07 up $252. October $335.90 up $255. That CME cash feeder cattle index based on an 800-pound steer, once again setting new records, up $2.27 from yesterday at $332.20. The Missouri Stocker formula based on a 500-pound steer in the state of Missouri through the auction, it set an all-time record this morning as well, finally breaking that $4 mark at $402.53. Lean hogs for August, $107.25, down $1.27. October, $88.72, down $2.15. December, $80.80, down $2.10. Taking a look at the grain markets, they continue to lose ground. Soybeans at the elevators around the state today, 2 to 10 lower. Wheat 8 lower, and corn 4 to 15 lower. Corn bids in St. Louis 405 to 406. Kansas City at 402. Soybean bids, St. Louis 1001 to 1002, Kansas City 1009 to 1029. Wheat bids in St. Louis 502 to 504, Kansas City at 514. On the Board of Trade, September corn 4.5 lower, 389.5. December down 3, 411. March at 428 3/4, down 2.5. August beans down 7, 981 3/4. September 989.5, down 3. November 1009.5, down 2. The first 3 months of the wheat contracts all down 8 3/4 cents for the day. September 529 3/4, December at 550, and March at 568.5. Soybean meal for August 261.70 a ton, down $3.20. Soybean oil for August 57.54 a hundredweight, up 99 cents. With the Missouri Department of Agriculture, that's a recap of your markets for Tuesday. This is Tony Hancock.